Hey you guys, give me 1 second. I gotta share this real quick. Oh shit, I can't. I don't know how. Oh, okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm just here to give some lunar eclipse tea, okay, because a lot of people don't really understand lunar eclipse energy to begin with. So, like, to break it down into easier terms, especially it being in Taurus. So, what you need to understand is when you are, like, when people who study astrology say things like lunar eclipse, new moon, blood moon, things like that, that specific thing has its own definition. And that definition, how you feel it and how you're affected by it, depends on the sign that it's in. So, astrology is just forever moving cycle, this forever moving circle of energy and in existence. And with the lunar eclipse being in Taurus, being opposite to Scorpio, you have to understand the sort of portal that's being dragged open. And I feel like for a lot of people, they don't realize that for lunar eclipses, okay, the moon is in the earth's shadow. So a lot of this Scorpio energy, it's ironic that the lunar eclipse is in Taurus, because that Scorpio energy that opposes it is forever dredging up all the bullshit that we thought we left behind, that we thought we healed from, that we thought we got rid of. But when you get it uprooted again and again and again, that's a sign for us to realize, oh, with this lunar eclipse, this is something that I need to work on. You know, a lot of us we sort of think that it goes away because we're not thinking about it anymore. And the thing is, the less that you encounter it, when you get triggered, like if you don't get triggered for like months about something, and then you all of a sudden get smacked in the face with it, sometimes that action will take you farther back than you have been before, because you're like, oh, I thought this was over. I thought I didn't have to deal with this anymore, this, that, and that. But you have to understand that you will forever be triggered by the things of your past as long as you haven't healed from it. So, you know, if somebody, like if you're triggered by the word bitch, okay, if somebody just in your family just told you were a bitch, called you a bitch 24/7, 365, and you were to just hear it in a movie one day, you know, that could trigger you. And then that's when you have to dive back and say, oh, I guess I'm not healed from that time, you know, my mama called me a bitch, you know, like things like that. So with this energy, you really have to hone in on what it is being expressed and what it is being uprooted. So Taurus, I'll talk about the Taurus sign. Taurus is a sign of vision, okay? It is a very slow, methodical sign. You know, you never see a Taurus acting crazy like an Aries, you know what I'm saying? Taurus tend to plan and they tend to move very methodical, very expected. So when you're in this season, try not to rush things, okay? When you try to rush past the healing and try to rush past the things that we have to get done, it ends up making more problems in the way, because we have to take it step by step. So you can't heal from everything that you're going through and every problem in one sitting, in one meditation. You have to break it down, and you have to be able to understand that, okay, maybe I'll get this far in this week and I'll try to move on to the next healing project next week. And it's okay to break it down like that. You know, healing is not a race. It's definitely not a race. It kind of is, but it's not. And you have to understand that with this sign of Taurus, you have to be very calculated and methodical in your actions moving forward, especially for the end of the year, because this energy is going to carry over from December. For some people, depending on your placements in your signs, it will carry into 2022. So December 4th is the last sort of energetic surge, because on December 4th, there's going to be a new moon in Sagittarius. So last week we had new moon in Scorpio, which opened that portal for this lunar eclipse in Taurus to really amplify everything that has been drudged up. You know, if you ever like journal or anything, check back to that week that we had that Scorpio new moon, and understand the energy that you've been feeling. Maybe you've had, you know, problems, complications, and things like that, because the Taurus energy is trying to show you what you need to plan more, where you need to relax more, where you need to redefine what it is that you see as luxury too. Because the thing about Taurus is a sign of experiences, it's a sign of luxury, and it's a sign of passion. So sometimes we need this sort of Scorpio energy to open us up, to get all the bullshit out to the surface, so that Taurus can come and say, okay, what's the game plan? You know, this is like the game plan season right now. We have to understand, with Taurus's strong, devoted energy, we can manifest things in so many beautiful ways for ourselves, but we have to take it a step at a time. You know, a lot of us don't realize we're in races with people because we're constantly, it's like a human curse. We're constantly comparing ourselves to other people, things that they have that we want, things that, so it's always going to be there. You know, when we take time to really set aside time for healing and set aside time for, you know, why we are wanting things but not experiencing them, then we can move forward. Because before this Sagittarius new moon coming up on December 4th comes in and just puts everything, like whisks your dreams into a true reality, you have to take this period and this time to really sit down and methodically calculate, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? What plans do I have that I've set in motion, and what plans do I have that I've just put on a back burner or waiting for someone to do for me? You know, and with Taurus's energy right now, it's funny because Taurus is opposite of Scorpio, and Taurus is my south node and Scorpio is my north node. So I've been in this energy literally all my fucking life, and people are going fucking nuts right now with all the violence and everything that's going on, and all these breakups and these new revelations and relationships and things. So I've always been in this energy. The energy of this season has always been where my energetic state exists naturally. That's why I'm just like sitting, I'm just chilling, breezing through this, because it's an energy that I'm familiar with. It's just in my chart. They're always constantly pushing and pulling each other when it pertains to my life. So really pay attention to the energy that you felt during that Scorpio new moon that happened previously, because everything that happens is going to be illuminated again in this lunar eclipse. So with the Scorpio new moon opening up that energy for Taurus to manifest and create, now that we're in this lunar eclipse period, we have to understand the importance of grounding. Okay, so when we're grounding, we have to realize that grounding is not necessarily sitting in meditation for 3 hours. You know, not everybody can do that, and not everybody wants to do that. So if that's not what grounding is to you, then that's fine. You know, some people's version of grounding is, you know, reading a book. Sometimes it's just going for a walk outside. Sometimes it's really, you know, simple things like that. I feel like for a lot of people, we have this idea of what spirituality should be instead of creating it and defining it for ourselves. So, you know, if sitting in meditation for 3 hours is not your ideal version of grounding, then you find a new way to ground. You know, you don't have to really, you don't have to push yourself to be like any other spiritualist. You can be your own spiritualist. You can be your own person. Mesh Black, what time period did the Scorpio moon start and end? I don't remember the specific day. I just remember that the new moon happened it was the last new moon was a Scorpio new moon. So now we're in the full moon in Taurus, and next is a new moon in Sagittarius. So the Scorpio energy opened us up and let us know all the things that we have to work on. The lunar eclipse energy in Taurus is showing us, okay, what's the game plan? What are we doing? This is really a planning period right now, and it's more of a time of relaxed action, I would say, for this Sagittarius energy that's about to whisk it away. You know, so this is what we have to pay attention to, because once that new moon goes in Sagittarius, shit is going to start manifesting like a motherfucker. Okay, so this is why I'm trying to break it down easier for people that might not understand the importance of new moons, full moons, and things like eclipses and blood moons and everything that's in between those cycles, because they all have definitions, they all have meanings, and they all represent you in different ways depending on what level you have healed from, depending on what level you have grown to as well. You know, so definitely pay attention to your energy and what it was and what you were feeling during that time, because it's all going to really resurface and carry during this period and manifest as we get into the Sagittarius energy. So you don't want to manifest, you know, all of the bullshit. You want to manifest the good shit. So this is the planning period for you guys. So on December 4th is the new moon in Sagittarius, okay? And what Sagittarius is a very rapid, very fast manifesting energy. And I've worked with this energy for a long time. I work with the Sagittarius energy that's, you know, in my chart, just to see how fast I can get things moving, especially like in family and home life, you know. So as Sagittarius is in this new moon energy, it's going to be a very rapid and very fast manifesting period from now until the end of December. So, and again, for people, some people, their chart is going to carry into 2022. But we have to understand, when we are manifesting, we are doing it all the time. You know, there is no breaks with manifestation. There's no pause button for manifestation. So the only thing the universe knows how to do is tell you yes. You know, manifesting doesn't stop. So if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I'm having such a bad day, today's the worst, today's the bad, I hate this, I hate that, all you're doing is building up that energy for yourself. You know, manifesting never stops. As long as you are thinking and as long as you are speaking, manifesting is happening. And you have to understand, when we move into these new cycles, these new lunar cycles, you have to know how to maneuver it so that you're moving your life forward instead of backwards. Because when we have these Scorpio energies, that's really the time where we get to see ourselves, our shadow selves. You know, it may be a shadow from 5 years ago, but as long as it's still existing and still able to drum up emotion inside of you, it's going to affect you. So these are like sort of alerting periods, I like to call them, especially when we have things like, this is actually the longest lunar eclipse that we've had in 500 years. So this is like a very important time and period, you know, and to waste that on, you know, just not doing anything to help yourself and to move your life forward, it would be such a waste of time. You know, it's a beautiful time to manifest the highest things that you want for yourself. It's the time is now. Ray Wilson said, how do we release? Okay, so a very simple way is to just get, you know, a piece of paper and a pen and just write down everything that that makes you feel hurt, that makes you feel sad. It can be an actual person. You can put their name on it. It's okay. And, you know, your ancestors know why they're on their list. So don't be ashamed to put somebody's name on a releasing list. So as you're releasing and you're letting the energy go, you should call in positive experiences in its place. You want to call in high vibrational love in its place as well. So you can say on a piece of paper, on one side, you can say, I release, and then name everything that you release, and then write the opposite on the other side. So if you say, I release fear, I call in security. You know, just call in the energetic opposite, so that you know that once this is gone, I don't have to keep revisiting this energy. You know, once you get rid of an energy, it's up to you to call it back in to experience it. And that's the thing that we have to take responsibility for, especially as adults, and especially being in the spiritual community, because sometimes we have our list of things that we release and we want to banish, and then, you know, someone enters our life as our own spiritual test, you know, because we are the ones testing ourselves. You know, there's no grand poobah sitting at the top like, oh, she wants this, let me make sure she wants it. It's us. You know, when we realize that it's us testing us to make sure that this is what we want, then we can begin to say, okay, I am showing myself exactly the thing that I needed to heal from. Am I going to step forward towards this again, or am I going to release it like I wrote it on my list, you know? And the thing is, when we are releasing during this, it's okay to get emotional. It's okay to get in tune with our feelings, because crying is honestly one of the strongest ways to not only manifest, but the strongest energetic releases. You know how people say like, oh, I just need a good cry and I'll be fine, and things like that. It's a reason why people say things like that. You know, crying is a full-on energetic release, to where the point where you literally have liquid coming out of your body. You know, that's the energy in a form releasing itself out of your body. So it's okay to cry, especially during this season. Let me scroll back up and see what was said. Mesh Black, I'm just starting my spiritual journey, and sometimes it's overwhelming, but very eye-opening. It's helping guide me through life and understand people and nature more. Sometimes I feel like I only manifested money, material things in general, and it makes me feel bad and selfish, but that's truly all I want in life, not just for me, but to also help my family. And listen, there is nothing wrong with that. Don't ever let anybody make you feel like wanting that is a bad thing, because we have to understand money is a foundation for stability. You know, if you're not born into money, or your parents just don't have money to just freely give you, that's how we stabilize ourselves. So you wanting money, don't ever, I think maybe that's something that you should try to work on as well. Don't ever feel bad for wanting more money. Baby, everybody wants more money, okay? Don't let nobody make you feel bad. So you have to go back into yourself, and you have to rediscover, like, what is it within me that makes me feel bad for wanting to be rich, for wanting to have this large amounts of money. And a lot of times the reason why we want something but it doesn't happen, especially financially, is because we have all these old sayings that our grandparents said in our heads. You know, they say like, oh, money is the root of all evil. The only rich people are evil, and they had to lie and cheat to get ahead. But when we look at like entrepreneurs, like we have Facebook, you know, we could look and scroll and search and look at people and see like they literally started from fucking nothing, and they built themselves up, and they've built their brand and things like that, and they didn't lie, they didn't, you know, sacrifice to Satan, okay? So they didn't kill a goat for Satan, okay? To get there, they worked and they believed in themselves, you know? So that's one thing that we, especially as a community, have to really let go if we want to continue to manifest and really get their train of this abundance rolling, because Taurus is here and Sagittarius is ready to go. I hope so. I hope y'all really ready for this energy that's about to come in. So yeah, Mesh Black, I hope that helped you out, because moving forward, don't allow people to make you feel bad for wanting what you want. Some people only want money, baby, and then that's fine, because you're going to be stable. Your kids are going to be stable. That builds generational wealth. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. Oh, hey, Healing Chariot. Hey, sis. I'm happy I switched over here. I love your live knowledge. Thank you. And you're welcome, Ray Wilson. Let's see. Much Black said, how do I know if my family is cursed? I feel like something also blocking us from success. So generational curses are definitely going to be reoccurring and popping back up, especially during this season. So when we remove ourselves from our families, right, and we start to think for ourselves and we start to do our own thing, sometimes we call in our family as counsel again, and then they put that energy back into our manifestations and things like that. So understanding who you want to be will help you with the generational curses that may be present into your life. So what I'm trying to explain it. So I think I'm explaining it right, but my mind just fucking goes. When you're your own person, okay, and you're moving forward with your life and you're growing and you're learning, you have to analyze your family for just being who they are. I personally think that when we get presented with new family information, family struggles, family problems like mental illness and any diseases or any things like that, that's our own spiritual alert system to say, hey, there's something going on here, you know, because if we're feeling anything other than happiness, bliss, and anything that makes us unhappy, if we're experiencing anything other than happiness, that's a red flag in itself. You know, when we go back and dive into generational things, you have to look back at, you know, how your grandma was raised, how your grandfather was raised, how they raised their kids, okay, their home dynamics. And then you have to understand all your cousins, okay, how were they raised? How were their parents? Okay. You have to really analyze people for who they are, because what might not happen to you as a generational curse may happen to your cousin. And that's the thing. You have to pay attention to what's going on in your bloodline in its entirety, but don't seek counsel from your family, especially if you've been the black sheep, you know what I'm saying? They're the last niggas you need to seek counsel from, okay? They're the last ones. So I hope I answered your question. Success is all a personal thing anyway, but if you're noticing, like, especially with poverty as a reoccurring theme of your family, you have to pay attention to the energy that is being spoken around money, the energy that is being spoken around, you know, if things like ancestral behavior is rampant in your family, you have to really pay attention to the ideas that are being placed by your grandparents, by their parents. So we have to be our own person and just listen. You know, don't absorb your family, listen to them, because you might be listening to a piece of a generational curse that may not be active in your life, but it's still a curse within your bloodline. It just manifested into your cousin, you know. So we have to pay attention to our families. I wouldn't recommend seeking counsel, you know, but I hope I answered your question. Let's see. Definitely have been so emotional these last few days, and I felt bad because I don't want to seem ungrateful. Listen, it's a very emotional time, okay? Like I said, I have Scorpio on my south node, Scorpio on my north node, Taurus in my south node. So I've been in this energy all my damn life, okay? This is just my energy. That's why I'm like chilling right now. Like this period is just like my relaxed time. Okay, now y'all get to feel how I feel every day. But don't let the influx of energy make you go nuts. Okay, because the thing is, it's going to be a lot of short tempers, not due to Taurus per se, but due to Scorpio's energy that they left as Taurus is coming in. Because Scorpio dug all the bullshit up into the light. Okay, and Taurus is like, okay, the bullshit is here. What are you gonna do about it? And a lot of people don't plan to heal. So what do? They recycle it. They take it out on other people and things like that. So grounding is very important during this time. You have to find your peace in some way, shape, or form, because it's not going to be handed to you. You have to really define that for yourself. Like I was saying before, like if you're not the type of person to sit 3 hours in meditation for grounding, you don't have to do that. You know, your version of spirituality that works for you is for you. You know, and you can tell your ancestors straight up, like, I ain't sitting crisscross applesauce for 3 hours. Okay, we're gonna have to find another way to do this, and they'll find another way to do it. You know, you have to understand, like, your spirituality, it belongs to you. It's not, you can't let other people define what it is for you. You know, and don't ever let anybody define your energy and what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be moving for you. Don't let anybody do that for you. You can define it for yourself. Do you want me to share this out? Of course. Yeah, you can share it. You know, I don't mind. And I don't want... Oh, shit. I'm reading like 3 different things. And I don't even know how I came across this video, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad you came too. You know, I'll just be popping up in and out. I'll be doing my thing, okay? Me too. It was meant for me to be here. Oh, I'm glad you guys stuck in. You're doing well with your ancestors are speaking. We get it. Oh yeah, listen. My ancestors stay speaking, okay? And I feel like I had to really do this live because I haven't been live in a long time. And I know this energy, okay? This Taurus and this Scorpio, this energy leading up to this new moon, I know this energy because I lived it. I continue to live it. But it's really no joke, okay? It's really no joke. So I want to give people advice and help on how to best navigate this energy, because that is going to constantly be a triggering energy. You know, this period is going to be very triggering. And once that thought enters into your brain, you have a choice to either choose it and hold on to it, like Scorpio somehow, for some reason, naturally does. They love holding on to darkness. Or are you going to tell that Scorpio energy, release it? It came across my mind again, but I'm letting it go. You know, when things enter into your head, especially like triggering things like domestic violence or, you know, child abuse or anything like that, when it pops into your head, that is you. You have to understand that. That is you triggering yourself and you waiting to see, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to grab onto this idea of this energy that you've experienced in the past? Or are you looking towards the future and the right now, where you are safe, where you are happy, where you're loved, where you're, you know, being treated right? You know, we have these options, and with this energy, which is why I'm really trying to stress grounding is very important, and understanding your triggers is very important. Because if we understand our triggers, even though we haven't yet healed from it, it's still going to benefit us, you know, because we can have this idea rolling in our head all day long, all night long, and then, you know, we dream about it and things like that. And then once we dream about it, we're like, oh, this must be real. This must be a spiritual sign. The whole time it was that trauma replaying because you didn't let it go. You allowed it to cycle and you allowed it to keep moving itself, you know? And that's why I say, like, a lot of people, especially spiritual people, they can get themselves tied up in their trauma if they're not too careful. And with healing, that's one thing that you can do to make sure that you don't get tied into your trauma. Because as we release and as we let go, as we heal, as we grow, okay, we let people, places, and things that weren't serving us, we let it in the dust, okay? We leave it there. So if you're feeling it pop up again and you're getting this energy again, you have the option to grab onto it again. Like if you want to experience that darkness, you have the option to grab onto that memory, hold onto it and hold it tight and literally experience it again. We all have that option. But you also have the option to let it go. And that's the important thing that I want to stress. Because when we let go, that attachment has nothing, it has nowhere to go. You know, it's like a hook latch, right? So you have this, let's say like a fuzz ball. Okay, you just let it grow, and then the hook latch just latches onto it. It's like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You didn't cut the fuzz off, so I'm just latching on. Okay, but once you cut that fuzz, it's gonna slip right off. You know, like a hook latch can only hook onto fuzzy surfaces. I know I'm saying random fucking analogies, but they can only hook onto fuzzy surfaces. If you make that thing slick, smooth as a baby's butt, that trauma has nothing to latch onto. So this season is very important to really pay attention to what still hurts you. You know, do not allow it to permeate your mind, because when it permeates your mind, it permeates your dreams. And when it permeates your dreams, you think this is like it's a dream message, you know? And a lot of people can, especially spiritual people, can really mess you up in the astral realm that way, you know? So you really have to let go of the trauma and let go of the pain just for your own mental clarity and your own, you know, safety. I understand what you're saying though. Okay, as long as you understand what I'm saying. Let's see. She is so on point and very knowledgeable. Thank you so much. You helped me. I was aligned here today. I believe that. Thank you. I honestly wasn't even going to go live until like a little bit later, so I'm cool with it. But yeah, I feel like for a lot of people, this season, okay, I'm gonna say a couple more things and then I'm going to get off of here. But this season, if you get triggered, understand that is your mind allowing yourself to see what you have yet to heal from, okay? You have to take the time to be patient with yourself. You have to love yourself, okay? And grounding will make sure you understand you're not in that space anymore. You know, you can look around, like the 5 things, the 5 senses. Find something that you smell, something that you taste, something that you can touch, something that you hear, and something that you see. Take the time to go through your 5 senses if you're ever in a triggering situation, and just take a second to calm your mind. Like, I smell wine, I hear music, I feel the softness of my jacket. You know, allow yourself to come back into your body and get out of your head. Because, hold on. Because what tricky ass Scorpio is doing is trying its hardest to show you what is still triggering you so that you can release it. But the bad thing about Scorpio is it's so good at holding on to the negative energy and the bad energy that sometimes people get confused and they think that it's manifesting. Okay, so with Scorpio uprooting everything, you have the option to accept your past trauma as your new future, or you can say, that was in the past, I'm leaving it where it's at. You know, you have that option. A lot of us, especially in the spiritual community, we think, okay, we are more healed than we are. Okay, a lot of us do, myself included. Okay, I ain't talking shit about nobody, okay, but myself. and whoever this applies to. Okay. So you have to understand, like, as long as we are here on this earth together, we have work to do. As long as we are still breathing in this realm of reality in these vessels, we have work to do, you know, and the work never stops. And this might be the next level of your test if you are, you know, spiritual, you know, things about spirituality, where, you know, you have to understand, like, oh, this was in the past. Am I going to let this go, or am I going to hold on to this? Am I going to cycle it into a new energy for it to manifest? Or am I going to hop on Taurus's back and ride my ass into the sunset while Sagittarius manifests me all the beautiful things that I want? You know, this is a very trying time right now. It's literally like, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, it's literally like the time to choose, you know, like, are you going to keep cycling the bullshit, the trauma, the pain, and things like that? Or are you ready to let go? You know, releasing under this Taurus energy is going to be so beneficial for a lot of people, because Taurus always has a plan. Taurus don't go anywhere without a plan, okay? So ask yourself and ask your spirit team, ask your ancestors, ask your spirit guides, what is the plan? Okay, what y'all got? Okay, I don't got shit right now. What y'all got? Because y'all know what I want, okay? Y'all know what I want. How the fuck do I get there? Okay, and sometimes that comes with Scorpio. You have to have Scorpio uproot the trauma so you can see yourself. You know, a lot of times when we feel these pains and we feel this trauma, it's so we can see what's still inside of us, you know, and we have to let it go. You know, I want too much for myself to allow anyone from my past to think they have the strength to knock me off of my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go fuck yourself for life, okay? You're not hiding in my memories. You're not hiding in, you know, any familiar smells or anything like that. Like, you're just simply a memory that happened, and I am releasing you. You know, we always have the option to let people go and let our pain go, okay? It doesn't matter how recent or how long ago it happened. And this is the perfect time to have that game plan. You know, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get rid of all the trauma and all the pain that we have yet to acknowledge is even there? Because a lot of people, they can't even acknowledge the pain that they have witnessed and gone through because it's been buried down in survival. You know, a lot of us here on this earth, we are literally, a lot of people are just trying to survive week after week. You know, a lot of people don't take that time to say, you know, maybe my life is like this now because I'm not working on what happened in the past. A lot of people aren't thinking like that. They're thinking, oh shit, this is due this week. Kids got to go to school. Kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're always on 10, which is why I say again, this is a period of grounding, okay? Understand, no desire that you have goes unheard. All you need is that Taurus energy to start a plan going. You just got to plan it out because your team wants what you want too. And like the girl said, all she wants is money. Baby, I don't fucking blame you. I don't fucking blame you, girl, okay? So figure out a game plan. Like, how can you be as rich as possible? You know, how can you be as, you know, spiritually sound as possible while still moving in alignment with who you want to be in your highest energy, okay? Like, I don't want to define anyone's spirituality for themselves. I really don't. All I want to do is shine a light so you can illuminate yourself, okay? That's really what I'm here for. Like, I appreciate everyone who looks up to me and is inspired by me to the fucking fullest. Don't get it wrong. But I still want you to lead yourselves to wherever you want to go, okay? If you want to go to the light, that's cool. You want to go to the dark, that's cool. You know, I don't fucking judge, okay? I don't give a damn. But I just want to really end this on this note of just continue to release what pops up, okay? Release that trauma. Do not hold on to it, okay? As much as it wants to manifest into your life, I'm telling you, release it, okay? I just want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. This was some good ass energy on this live, okay? Sis, you just hit home for me. I had to release people. Then they tried to send people and at me. I was unmoved and didn't even give it the time, but I knew it. Something was up. I just cut it off. Yep. Triggered, but I was healed from what I got from it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Triggers are just going to be the theme, okay? With the holidays, especially. Oh my God, okay? And you have that option to release. And sometimes when you release the pain, that does not mean entertain, okay? That does not mean go back like, oh, I'm healed from this, so let me go back to the person that I just had to heal from, you know? And I feel like that's where a lot of people's problems are, is because they're like, okay, I'm at this new level of healed. Let me try it again. You know, like people's problem is they're like, oh, maybe it was me. Maybe I was the problem, not the situation itself teaching me a lesson and teaching me how to grow. They're like, oh, maybe it was me. So they heal from it and they're like, okay, I'm healed. Let me go try this same fucking situation again. It's okay, because it took me like 4 years to get over my ex, okay? We was back and forth, up, down, left, and motherfucking right, okay? So I ain't judging nobody. But sometimes, like, when you release someone and you release that energy, you gotta let all that shit go, okay? So I really hope this helped y'all. I'm about to finish my wine, okay? And then do something. I don't fucking know. Bye.